Hey, welcome to Working Class Customs from beautiful UMC in Tooele, Utah. I wanted to do a quick introduction on my motorcycle, tell you a little bit about it and what's going on this weekend. So this is my 2010 BMW S1000RR. I picked it up a few years ago. I was doing some track days on a Ducati Super Sport. Decided I needed something different to fully enjoy the sport. Picked up this beast. I've been tracking it ever since. First few track days I did in complete stock form. Then, things start happening. You can't leave anything alone, right? Done a lot of track days since then on this bike. The big news this week is decided to get our NRC license a couple months ago. We're gonna do our first actual race on Saturday, and I wanted to show you a little bit what the bike's gone through, some of the changes to get it ready and get us to this point. First changes I made: when you get track riding, it's a good idea to have some engine covers. Trust me, it's quite possible that you're gonna put a bike in the weeds or on its side once or twice. Some nice covers. Again, I went with armor bodies, all race fairings, so we've got rid of all the headlights, the glass, saves you from having to tape it up all the time. Those kind of things if you have the luxury of having a spare bike or an extra bike. Dealing just with racing, and racing's a little bit different than a track day and what you need to get away with to pass tech. So this bike has been completely safety wired. You can see the drain bolt on the water pump has been safety wired. The oil dipstick has been safety wired. The drain plug has been safety wired. Your calipers are safety wired. Your tension bolt for your front axle, the rear axle nut safety wired. There's a whole list of things that you go through. Basically anything that can leak water on the track or fluids. Radiator cap, they'll make you have this brake guard, lever guard, so that if you bump another bike on the track, the brakes don't accidentally get pulled. That makes for a really bad day. We're running full Dunlop slick front and back. We'll have some tire warmers on there. As I mentioned earlier, you go through, you have to get your race license. Here in Utah, we call that an NRC course. So you pass that, then you'll be issued a number. You've got to have number plates showing what number you are. Also telemetry. You have to have a transponder on the bike at all times during the race. Those are just the things you simply need to race. Some of the things you don't have to have is these are frame sliders, they call them. You're hoping to mitigate some of the damage if you do go down of the bike. This particular bike, I put a Motion Pro Rev 2 throttle on it. It's a cam system that gives you the ability to change how far that pole needs to be. It works really good. You can tailor it to what you like. I may or may not have had an incident on this bike at a previous track day that removed the tail for me, and I've had to put a new tidy tails on there, which so far I've really liked. Rear sets, fully adjustable rear set, so that when you have, like I always like to say, my little short legs, you can move those pegs wherever you need, make the bike fit you. Another important thing to get done on a bike is have the suspension set up to you. Depending on your weight, depending on the bike, a stock suspension may be sufficient, especially when starting out. You just need to have it tuned, the sag, those kind of things for whatever body weight you are. That's all been done to this bike. Also, when you start doing mods, the bike has a full aftermarket exhaust, power commander system tuned by the Moto Station in Salt Lake City, and pretty excited to see what the weekend brings. Please like, subscribe, comment, stick around for the race weekend and see how this goes. Want to give you some quick thought on first race day and how that's going. It's currently lunchtime. UMC USBA round 2. Raced 2 different sessions this morning, including a a warm-up, man, these guys are fast. I'm running record lap times, personal bests all over the place all day. Starting yesterday, I just keep dropping time, and you go out there and they want more. They just want more. Bike's doing good, something we learned. Super soft slicks, they don't hold up for a whole day. I think it has something to do with the times going down as well. If you're gonna run super soft, be prepared to be changing out multiple tires in a day. So far so good. We have 4 more races this afternoon. Excited about that, see what that brings. But the important part, my girl brought home medals. Hello! Are we rolling? Where do I start? Just finished up first full day of racing, real racing, not track days. For those that don't know, the way Utah Superbike Association runs at UMC, you pay a single price for the day and you can sign up for as many races as your bike qualifies for. Of course, there's 300 classes, 600 classes, 1,000 classes. I signed up for 6. I ended up doing 5. One of those was back-to-back, 7 laps, come off the track, turn around in 100-degree weather, and which may be a slight exaggeration, but flip it around, go right back out, grid up, and race another 7 laps. Shout out to the guys that do 14 in some of the other classes, because you gotta be healthier than me to do that. That's pretty rough. That's something I knew going in, but I realize more now. It takes a lot to push one of these around a track consistently, just lap after lap after lap. Crazy things that happen. First out, I wanna give a shout out to all the people that helped, the people that helped get us there, help supporting me getting the license, the time it takes away from other things. I also wanna give a thanks out to Easton. He wasn't racing, so he was able to kind of sit in the stands, which just doesn't normally happen, and kind of pick me apart, which was a great thing. Also, Anthony Lugnut Norton was paying close attention to me, which is nerve-wracking and good at the same time. He had a lot of pointers. My favorite of the weekend is drink water, go faster. Appreciated that one. But yeah, a crazy weekend. Everybody always says that you want to go faster, go racing. Fully believe that to be true now. I think that had most to do with it, but as an example, my best ever time on this track was a 1:56. I went out the day before we did a track day, just warming up for the race day, test and tune, if you will, and we got that all the way down to a 1:49. Before that, I had kind of plateaued. 1:49 was unheard of for me. I thought I can't possibly get it any lower. Session after session, race after race, we dropped seconds all week. We ended with a 1:44.11, which I'm quite proud of. We still got a long ways to go to play with the big boys, but we're headed that way. A couple realizations that I had. There's always this question, how fast do you need to be to go race? And I'm sure it's a little different from class to class and all that kind of thing, but I've seen a lot of places, there's a difference of opinion. You need to be running in the A group on track days before you ever consider going racing. Also, I've heard the opinion that if you're a fast B grouper, then you're ready to go racing. After doing this race, my opinion is you better be a damn fast B grouper or an A group rider. Those guys are fast. They're a lot faster. That was surprising to me. I mentioned earlier that my times were just boom dropping, and you go out there and you're still just deer in the headlights trying to go. Those boys and girls are serious out there. Be ready to race. You want to race. I highly recommend it. There's definitely some jitters, some nerves that get shook. It's an epic thing to pull out there on the grid. Kept mentioning to Easton, like, man, when you're down there and you got bikes all around you on the grid, it's almost scary when they all rev up, and you know, it's a missile getting ready to launch when the lights go out, and you better just get out of the way if nothing else. But great experience. Again, like I said, there was definitely jitters in the first races. Some of those went away as you become confident. Some of the classes do things like a dual wave start, and I was a little unsure how that worked. We can talk about that somewhere else. Once I figured out how that was and you kind of start to know what's going to happen, a lot of those jitters go away. The jitters that stay are the ones I hope never go away. I can't explain the experience going out there and competing like that on that level. Has no comparison to a track day. All in all, it was a great day, great experience. I'd love to hear anybody in the audience that have comments or thoughts on, I'd like to hear about their first day, you know, their first race day, how that was for them. Tips, tricks, anything you guys want to add to this in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you soon.